Now, it's my pleasure to introduce the Ambassador of Ukraine to the United States, Her Excellency Oksana Markarova.
It's a great honor and a pleasure to be here in New York with all of you. And I want to start by thanking the Overseas Press Club for this unbelievable support that you have shown to my country. From the day when you posted "We Are Kyiv Press Club," and that emblem in solidarity with Ukraine meant so much for everyone in Ukraine, to also all your campaigns to help journalists who tell the truth, who risk their lives, who right now, when we are here in New York, are on the front lines, or in Kyiv, or in Lviv, or in Odessa, in so many places in Ukraine, doing what journalists always pledge to do, to show the truth, regardless of how hard it is. I want to thank you for this Ukraine Appeal campaign in help of Oleg and Yulia. It's very important. Today, as you all know already, is 428th day of this recent full-fledged war that Russia started against us after they have invaded us in 2014. And I don't need to tell this audience, you know well about all the hardships, about all the atrocities, about all the difficulties that Ukraine goes through, but also about our resiliency and our will to fight. But I think right now we all know that journalists, brave journalists who came to Ukraine when this war started, have been a game changer. Because the world could see the truth, we are able to win this war. And thank you to all of you for doing it. Please continue doing that. And I think we have to also tell everyone that not only food and energy and everything that we are talking about, and weapons that you usually hear me talking about, are the first need, but access to information and journalism is the first basic need that all human beings who believe in democracy have. So right now, this tragedy, of course, is not only for all Ukrainians who are fighting or civilians who are being killed, but journalists. The Mass Media Institute of Ukraine recent data shows that 52 journalists, at least 52 journalists, are already killed in Ukraine, Ukrainian and foreign. That 14 journalists have gone missing, 21 kidnapped, 17 wounded. And these numbers, unfortunately, could be much bigger because we don't know what happens on the occupied territories. But we know that more than 200 newspapers and media outlets on the uncontrolled territories already ceased to exist, because that's where not only people are being killed and tortured and our children are being kidnapped, but journalists are being targeted specifically for that, specifically for just telling the truth. So let me again thank to the selfless sacrifice to all the journalists who do not hesitate on all these days to go to the battlefield, to go to difficult places, to places where they know they will be targeted for telling the truth, but they still do it. Their report sent a very strong signal that democracy and freedom of press matters, but they also sent a message that democracy and freedom of press is at risk. And we have to win this war, not only for the sake of Ukraine, but for the sake of everyone who believes in the same values. I will not recite the names of people who we lost, but I want to tell you that we all deeply respect and honor them, and every Ukrainian will always remember those journalists that died in Ukraine, fighting essentially for our cause. Some of them have been true friends, some of them I knew, and some of them have been really close home, like Brent Renaud, who used to work for New York Times, who was killed in Irpin, and my house is not far from that place, and my house was under occupation for 32 days. Or like Pierre Zakrevsky from Fox, who also was shot by Russians when he was showing the truth in Irpin. Or Max Levin, a friend of mine, Ukrainian journalist. Or my friend Vera Hurich, who I had scheduled interview for a couple days after she was killed in her apartment by the Russian missile. We can go on and on and on by thanking all of them for their ultimate sacrifice. But I think together today, we have to do everything possible so that their sacrifice will never be forgotten, so that other journalists will not only honor them, but will continue on the path of telling the truth. And that together, all of us, Ukrainians on the front lines, Americans here, and brave journalists everywhere, can inspire the future generations that after Ukraine wins, and I have no doubt that we will win this war with the help of our friends here in the United States, that after this, the light will win over darkness everywhere, and the journalists will make sure that not only they will be telling the truth, but they will hold all of us accountable, and all the government officials will know that we have to continue winning in the peace after we will win this war. So thank you again. Slava Ukraini, and God bless America.
Thank you, Madam Ambassador. Would you now do us the honor of lighting the candle? Let's please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you.